People just normalize teen parenting at this point because it's a normal thing. We are girls, we're human. That's what we made for.
Why do y'all want to normalize kids getting pregnant?
The arguments that I keep seeing are, well, you hit puberty at this time, your body does this, you're da-da-da-da. Just because your body is ready to do something does not mean your mind is.
Tell me why they mad at me. Why are you mad at me? Because I don't like promoting teen pregnancy. What? Y'all are weirdos.
Where you at,
Teen
Berto?
pregnancy is being normalized and it's getting dark.
Social media has made documenting teen pregnancy easier than ever.
This is what I'm packing in my hospital bag as a 13-year-old pregnant teen.
Get your
13 chat. Yo, I ain't gonna lie though. This shit is only getting worse. But when I was in middle school, there was a girl, bro. I'm not gonna say her name out of respect, you know what I'm saying? But there was a girl, bro, that had 2 kids. She had one in 6th grade and another one in 8th grade. Bro, on some crazy shit, shorty followed me on IG like a couple months ago, and I was like, I remember showing Feek, I was like, bro, I can't believe it. Look who this is. Would you believe she has fucking 5 kids now, chat? And she had 2 of them in middle school. I was like, oh my God. But hey, man, you know, this shit is it's a crazy world, man.
With me as a 16-year-old that's 30 weeks pregnant.
Get ready with me to go to an ultrasound while 16 and 28 weeks pregnant.
And as it's become,
this, you know, I'm not gonna pause too much in this video because I feel like this is one where we're really gonna sit back and just learn a lot of shit. But bro, what's sad about this is I feel like we live in such an era where people are just doing shit as like a trend. Like people aren't taking nothing serious. You are bringing a kid into this world when you are a kid yourself. At the end of the day, you're young, and I understand certain people end up in situations and things happen. Like, all right, that's your business. But let that be the minority, please. Let's not step into a world where we are normalizing kids who are kids themselves having kids, bro. Like, what? That shit don't even make sense. You're not even giving the little babies the best chance to succeed, bro. You haven't even figured out your own situation. How the hell y'all gonna raise a baby and you still a baby? Y'all not gonna gaslight me into thinking that's a crazy take, bro. We need to slow down as a society. This is crazy.
Easier to share, it's also become easier for people to justify.
People just normalize teen parenting at this point because it's a normal thing. We are girls, we're human. That's what we made for. Not really made for, but like, you know what I'm trying to say.
There's some chatter online about normalizing teen pregnancy,
my dog?
Usually coming from the teen mothers themselves.
Y'all, here's why we should normalize teen pregnancy.
And this has sparked a growing conversation, one that's quickly turning into pushback, debate, and very strong opinions.
Sorry to burst some of y'all's bubbles, but yes, it is actually very embarrassing to be pregnant as a teenager. Y'all over here getting pregnant? And it's okay? When was this normalized?
Now look, I'm not gonna lie and make it seem like we're going back to the 2000s where teen pregnancy had a reputation to uphold. Today, teen pregnancy rates are actually at a historical low.
It's an undeniable trend. Fewer Americans are having babies.
Everything from less unintended teen pregnancies, that's a good thing, to women possibly having more kids later in life, and the cost to have children. All of it put together is likely why there are declining fertility rates, not only in the United States, but worldwide.
And with birth rates continuing to decline, the conversation around who is having babies is being questioned more and more. And the answer to that question is starting to move in a direction none of us were expecting.
We still have 3.6 million births a year, but the problem is teens and young adults. From ages 15 to 19, the fertility rate is down 7%, meaning we're telling people that are young young not to have babies, to wait till they're in a more stable life situation.
This video isn't about teen pregnancy itself. It's about what happens when a system we've been relying on starts to fall apart. So if you thought this was just another video about kids these days, you're in for a rude awakening. Because once you see how the old timeline failed, you'll realize that the rules we've been following were just an 80-year-old social experiment. Welcome to the Girl Talk you didn't know you needed. Now, I'm not saying you have to subscribe.
Chat. I know she about to drop that brand deal. Oh, no, never mind. We're going to keep it going. I guess not.
Most people don't realize, but your personal data is being sold online. Agni for sponsoring today's video. Before teen pregnancy was even something to be debated about, back in the day, there wasn't even a teenager for it to happen to. And I'm not exactly saying that people didn't exist at that age. I mean, the way we understand age right now, that wasn't how life was set up back then.
Teenagers actually were not even a thing as far as a demographic of people until after World War II.
Wait, hold on. I know you guys usually skip this part of the video, but give me 1 second. I want to put you guys on real quick on a way to make some extra money that is 100% legit, and you could do it all from your phone. TesterUp is a platform that works with games to find new users just like you to test their games out. These apps and games are willing to pay new users to get on their platform because 9 times out of 10, they genuinely actually like playing the game. And the app in return ends up making money because you're playing the game that they paid you to play. I know that sounds a little bit too good to be true, but this is why I'm breaking it down for you so you understand the business behind it and how it works. TesterUp helps put money back in your pocket that these platforms are willing to pay for new users. So if you already like playing games on your phone, click the link in the description or use the QR code on the screen. You're gonna make a free account. It's completely free to do. And you can start making $10 to $20 off of games that you already love playing. This isn't a get rich quick scheme, so it's full transparency here. But if you're dedicated enough and you like playing games on your phone, there's people already making hundreds of dollars as well. Again, it's completely free to try. Use the QR code on the screen or click the link in the description. Check it out and make some extra cash. Really? What do you mean?
So prior to World War II, young people were called youth, young man, young woman. That's what they were called. And they lived up to it. They wanted to be like their parents. They dressed like their parents, talked like their parents, and wanted the responsibility that their parents had.
Before the 1940s, the separation between being a child and an adult looked very different. And when I say child, I'm mainly speaking about the 13 to 24 age range, which, believe it or not, a century ago was all grouped into one single jumbled up category called adolescence.
We were just children. And then all of a sudden, we were supposed to be adults.
In the early years of the 20th century, this new stage of life was defined between childhood and adulthood, and that stage of life was initially called adolescence. And this separate stage of life, having been defined, caused problems for actual real-time adolescence. If we're different, if we're something between childhood and adulthood, what are we? What could we be?
Imagine being a 20-year-old man shipped off to the front lines of a world war, and the world still considered you nothing more than a toddler with 2 decades of experience. Nevertheless, even though you were technically considered young, there were a lot of responsibilities that made sure the youth in you didn't stay youthful for long.
Magazines like Life encouraged the strict conformity of post-war social norms in their coverage of teenage life, especially the girls. In one photo, one of the essay's twins is shown seriously concentrating on hanging laundry with an accompanying statement about how 1947 teens think of marriage much more seriously than their wartime equivalents.
There was massive pressure to basically hit fast forward on your life and just start doing the things only grown-ups were supposed to do. And playing house was one of them.
Helen and Hal were only 17 when I married. Hal had finished high school, and then he joined the army for 2 years to get his military service out of the way. He asked Helen to marry him a week before he entered the army. Now that suited Helen just fine. Married life was pretty tough for Helen. Then the baby arrived.
Because when you're 17, married, and holding a newborn baby, the world isn't going to see you as a teenage mom. At least, not back in that era. But that started to change later in the 1940s. New economic changes were pulling kids out of these factories and wars and were putting more of them in high schools.
One of the major contributors to the creation of the culture of teenagers was the public school system. Between 1920 and 1936, the number of teenage students in high school more than doubled from 30% enrolled to 60%. Enrollment in high school, rather than being forced to work alongside adults, gave teenagers a unique opportunity to develop their own culture as they spent more time in school with their peers on a daily basis than they did at work or with family.
Surrounded by hundreds of other kids with nothing to do but talk to each other. That adult influence that once made kids little adults started to be erased. Here's the thing, these kids didn't want to be little adults anymore. So they did the very thing future generations would soon follow to do, which is rebel.
And during that time prior to World War II, that there was someone who was a delinquent, who was skipping school, being lazy, being disrespectful to authority figures. Those people were given a derogatory term. And that derogatory term...
My bad, y'all. Fucked up. God damn it. My bad, Chad. Hold on. There we go. Teen pregnancies is being normalized and it's getting dark.
Term was the word teenager. That's right. Teenager was actually a derogatory term. It meant delinquent, someone who wasn't turning out right.
This generation is basically tasting freedom. They're finally being able to experience what they now know is a teenager. You can't tell them to go back to being distinguished whippersnappers. I'm so happy I finally got an excuse to use that word, whippersnapper. It's just so fun. They tried but failed, and the world was watching the birth of a brand new force, the American Teen Rebellion.
Juvenile delinquency now is recognized as a major problem by the top law enforcement officials of the land.
Our young people are getting out of hand everywhere.
Well, I know, Mrs. Robinson, every report I get from the field tells me how enormous the problem is. But no amount of law enforcement can solve a problem which goes straight to the home. The solution isn't in arresting these youngsters. It's up to the parents to give them a home life which will be free from the temptation to delinquency.
That man said it's up to the parents, right? But isn't that how these kids rebelled in the first place? Because the parents and societal pressures made them adults with bills and babies at 17. That tension didn't go away though. There was just this in between now where your grown-up reality and your high school schedule were clashing. You could be a legal wife and mother, but a high school dropout at the same time.
Jeff, isn't that Eileen?
Yeah, sure is. Baby and all.
Like times were just so different back then though. Because nowadays it's like kids were actually contributing to society nowadays. I mean back then. But nowadays kids are just sitting on their ass. The worst thing they have to worry about is goddamn how much lunch money they're getting, and they're having kids. So it's weird. I feel like looking back, it's still weird to see that this was happening, but it made more sense.
Gee, I haven't seen her since she left school. That looks like Mary and Jeff.
Oh my God. What is wrong with this woman? Yo. This motherfucker look crazy.
I wonder if they'll say hello to me. Maybe they'll cross the street.
I don't see pregnant teens nowadays, to be honest. You think you don't see them. The problem is teenagers don't look like teenagers nowadays, bro. You dead ass need to be, anytime you talk to a girl nowadays, you dead ass need to ask to see their birth certificate on me. Because I don't know who and what is what age anymore, bro. Teenagers don't look like teenagers anymore. That's what's really going on.
So they won't have to. Hi, Mary. Hi, Jeff. How are you?
Nice to see you again.
Is she a lot of trouble, Eileen? Well, it's tiring. Sometimes I wish we had had more time to work things out.
And we talk about this like it's ancient history, but this was the reality for the women who raised us. They lived in a world where you were old enough to be a mother, but too scandalous to be a student. I actually sat down with my grandmother to ask her what it was like to live through that shift. What age did you feel like you had to stop being a kid and start being an adult?
I'm the age of 14.
Wow.
Couldn't be no kid no more. I had to take care of myself, a husband, and a child.
Were you able to go to high school? Were you pregnant while you were in high school?
I couldn't go to school, being pregnant. They had
Oh, wow. Wow.
special schools for pregnant teenagers at that time.
What those schools did, removing the teenage girls whose bellies were too much of a distraction, it showed how important the teenage brand was. And it showed just how far they would go to...
Why did we stop doing this? Because they don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck. Correct me if I'm wrong, but wouldn't that still be beneficial if teenage pregnancies still had a place where they can go and still go to school and be educated and kind of balance what's going on? Am I tripping? Carrie said, I started working when I was 10. Oh my God.
Protect what they originally created. And eventually, instead of making these pregnant teens invisible, they just made them an example.
First, we were all surprised that everybody looked at like, Carol Clute is pregnant? Because at the time she wasn't married,
Carol is a sweetheart, and Dave is a really nice kid, and they both deserve the best. But they're in a situation now, a real bind.
Some people, there's rumors at school saying that he didn't really love me, and they're just stupid little rumors that people pick up so they talk about me.
Gone was the era of young motherhood, okay? That wasn't a thing anymore. Now it was teen pregnancy, and they called it a crisis.
The most recent numbers available show that in Guilford County in 2006, 992 girls between the ages of 10 and 19 became pregnant. Local health officials say the numbers have fallen steadily for more than a decade. But the Centers for Disease Control reports the U.S. still has one of the highest teen pregnancy rates among industrialized countries.
At this point, you were either a student or a statistic. And those quiet disappearances that my beautiful grandmother mentioned earlier, that evolved into public scandals, turned into movies, TV shows, PSAs,
I remember that movie.
News reports, and cautionary tales.
What was it called? Was it called Juno or something?
Especially when there was the case of the pregnancy pact, and if you don't know what that is, just know it shook the nation.
Now to a disturbing story out of Gloucester, Massachusetts. There's been a dramatic increase in teenage pregnancies there, and authorities think they know why. Some say the high school girls planned it as part of a secret pact.
17 girls at Gloucester High School not only got pregnant, but according to some, it was no accident. School officials discovered the pregnancy pact after some girls seemed disappointed that their pregnancy test from the school nurse came back negative.
These hoes out here trying to trap niggas in, what they said, high school? Holy. These hoes out here trying to trap niggas in high school talking about the pregnancy pact. Hell no.
By the early 2010s, the messaging reached a boiling point. Schools and media needed these babies to stop having babies.
What's good,
it's
Joy
gone
Boy?
too far. And I'm pretty sure they were doing what they could with educating them. Sex ed classes were in every high school in the country at this point.
So, did y'all have sex ed? Because I still had sex ed when I was in high school. Or did they just give up all around? Shit, they had to have given up. Because y'all niggas out here moving reckless. Yes, sort of. I don't believe it. Because they still had... Because the way they taught sex ed when I was in school, it was like, hey, bro, I damn near don't even want to have sex. They was fear-mongering that shit. You know what I'm saying? They not... Y'all knew young niggas not moving correctly. They was fear mongering. They were like, no, don't have, if you have sex, you gonna die. That's how it felt. I was like, oh shit. Let me chill. I don't want these problems. That's how they talked about drugs too. When we heard about drugs, it was like, hey, if you do drugs, you will lose your life, gang. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. Don't do drugs or you're going to either go to jail or die. Oh shit, well, yeah, I'm not gonna do that shit. And then we had the commercials with the cigarettes. The motherfuckers was smoking the cigarettes, talking like, if you don't want to end up like me, don't do cigarettes. I thought it was cool, but I found out the hard way. You be watching that bitch like, hold on. I ain't never gonna smoke a cigarette. What? That's crazy. Big ass hole in they shit.
But educating wasn't enough. So they started to traumatize these kids with the cold, hard truth.
What does this ad say to you? Dad, you'll be paying to support me for the next 20 years.
Wow.
Yeah, see, I'm telling you, they were fear mongering.
Dude, these are
official with the 25 stream
Honestly,
streak.
Mom, chances are he won't stay with you.
That would really get my attention.
This is a new ad campaign by health officials in New York City. It's stunning teens and shocking parents in the Big Apple and here at home.
So now we have to ask ourselves, did all that trauma and public shaming from the past actually work? Well, if we look at the statistics, we could say yes, because the numbers have dropped lower than ever before. But if we look at our phones, that answer feels a little deceiving.
What my day looks like as a 15-year-old who's 37 weeks and can definitely feel it.
Get ready for me to go to school. 29 weeks pregnant.
Oh my God, this is making me uncomfortable, bro.
16 years old.
I'm gonna do a get ready with me, and while I'm doing it, I'm gonna talk about how I found out I was pregnant at 14.
Y'all know I usually blur babies' faces, right? Well, it's so jarring that not only do I have to blur the baby's face, but I have to blur the other baby's face because these are kids. And before I even take my next breath, let me quickly say, this portion of the video is not to shame these teens.
YouTube, no shame, none of that. Analytical purposes only. Video is being reacted to on YouTube. Any human reviewers that was thinking that I'm just doing some BS, no. This is a public video on YouTube. Right here, YouTube. We see youtube.com. YouTube. No video taken down and no demonetizations. Come on, man. We analytical purposes only.
Mothers. It's so much more complex than that. It's to show you how social media is now being used to flip the script and make teen pregnancy look normal, almost expected, like it was back in the day.
Should we just normalize teen parenting at this point because it's a normal thing? We are girls, we're human. That's what we made for. Not really made for, but like, you know what I'm trying to say?
No, we cannot normalize teen pregnancy. Absolutely not. There is way more things to do with your life as a teenager than getting pregnant.
And when we see young girls talking this boldly about a situation this heavy, and then on top of that, they double down.
Somebody in my comments asked me if I still want to normalize teen pregnancy. My mind ain't never changed. Yes, I still want to normalize teen pregnancy. We all are human. I mean, women, whatever the case may be, you know what you getting yourself into when you do the do.
It's... Again, bro, there's so many pros of this social media shit. I'm a social media creator, so it's like I love the fact that I'm able to do what I do, but man, you gotta wonder if it's worth it, bro. We really might have just been better off without the internet, gang, cause this is just sad. This is just sad that this young girl's on here saying this thing. And then she's posting it. It's on the internet forever. And hopefully, you know, she lives a long, healthy life and is able to, you know, go and do amazing things in her life. But one day she's going to look back at this and be like, what the fuck am I doing, bro? If she has, you know, half a brain by the time she, you know, matures. It's crazy, dude.
It's just stuff like that. Like, I really don't know why y'all making a big deal. Like, It's gonna happen. It happens. They be like, let them have their teenage years and have fun and shit. You can still have fun and do what you gotta do with a baby.
The reality.
You can, but you're a child, bro. How do you expect to truly develop and handle shit in your life when you gotta be literally taking care of another? Like, when it comes to kids, bro, and I don't have any kids, so any of my parents that may be watching this, y'all let me know. But I have adopted the mentality that the day that I have kids, I am no longer living for me. I am literally living to make sure that I'm providing and guiding this child to the best of my ability, going above and beyond. So it's like, I just feel like that is the mentality that parents that should be going into having children with. And if it ain't that, then I don't think you're ready to have kids, bro. Because and that's not to say that parents can't have fun and do what they want to do either, but it's just like, I genuinely feel like you're supposed to be putting that child first. That's the type of father that I want to be. So anytime I hear anything that goes against that, I'm just like, bro, what? Again, it's not to say that I can't go out and have a good time too. You know, it's not to say that I can't hang out with my friends too. Like, I'm not saying that an adult's life, a parent's life has to stop as soon as they have a kid. No, that's not what I'm saying. But, bro, it's the sacrifices that you're willing to make sure that your seed grows up the right way and has the right shit instilled in them. I feel like that's the most important shit, is it not?
Of teenhood feels like it's going off script, and it wasn't until I started digging a bit deeper into this topic that I realized just how scary it's getting. But first, I need to paint the picture for you. If you were in public school around the mid-2010s, I feel like we can all recall that one girl, maybe group of girls, that wanted to be pregnant. I know it sounds weird, but as young girls playing with baby dolls and seeing it on TV, trust me, it wasn't a brand new phenomenon that a young girl was already picking out baby names and romanticizing a lifestyle she wasn't ready for.
My name is Victoria and I'm 15 years old and I don't care what my mama says, I'm gonna have a baby. I will do whatever it takes to take care of my baby. If it has to come out to prostitute in my body, then so be it.
You're 15. You can't even get a job at Make It D's, girl. This was like Catch Me Outside before Catch Me Outside.
My mama thinks that I'm not ready to have a baby, but I have everything my baby will need. I'm not just having sexual...
You don't have anything. Everything that you have, your mom provided for you. It'd be crazy like when kids get this level of entitlement, because what are you talking about? You literally have nothing. You own nothing. Everything that you perceive that you have, your parents got for you. So what are you talking about? You have nothing.
1, not 2, but 3 different guys. My life dreams are to drop out of school, to be on Girls Gone Wild, and to have my baby.
With the occasional pop-ups on The Maury Show and Dr. Phil, most of those
I gotta point the finger at the parents, though, with kids that end up like this. Like, I know there's some level of truth that kids gonna do what they want to do, but I also really gotta feel in my heart that bad parenting is what leads to kids like this. Knock on wood. I hope when my time comes, you know what I'm saying, I don't have to eat my words, because there's no rules to this parenting shit. But like, I've seen what my parents have done for me. I've seen the sacrifices they've made. You know, I remember the things that I used to rebel with and, you know, go back and forth with my mom and dad. And, you know, every kid rebels to some degree, but I turned out all right, man. Some of the shit that I be hearing these motherfuckers say is like, bro, I wouldn't even be able to say that. My mom would smack the lips off of my mouth. Like, what are we talking about?
Thoughts stayed in the back of the mind, in the back of the classroom. But today, those thoughts are on the For You page.
I was 18 telling everyone around me, I'm going to be a
Whereyouatberto, man. Views going up.
Whatever. She's an egomaniac. And then,
Is this what 300K feels like? Is this what 300K feels like? Are we like, we got motion now? I appreciate y'all, man. I love y'all so much. Where you at, family? If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you guys join the Twitch. Link in the description so you never miss a live stream reaction. The community's growing. Everybody's growing. Good vibes. I love it. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all.
The urge to become a teen mommy, but I can't because society won't accept it. Fine, I wish I could be a teen mom.
I came across a side of TikTok where the want to be a teen mom is a lot more common than I thought. With thousands of likes and hundreds of comments with too many likes for my liking, just a few of them read, I feel like it's my purpose. This commenter searched up teen parenting routines on TikTok because they wanted to be one so bad. And then biology says yes, society says no. The argument of biology says yes is pretty terrifying when you think about it, because it's basically saying we should ignore every rule made to protect childhood and just let kids face adulthood because their bodies are changing a bit more.
Middle schoolers should not be having they should not be having they should not be having, and shame on everyone else who is trying to normalize the idea of middle schoolers having. Okay, because the arguments that I keep seeing are, well, you hit puberty at this time, your body does this, you're da-da-da-da. Just because your body is ready to do something does not mean your mind is.
Again, she's 100% right. Look, I'm a guy. I lost my shit early, and it's like, but that's not what it's supposed to be, bro. That's not nothing to gloat about. It's nothing. Like, to all my brothers that feel like you're behind and you're supposed to be hitting some shit, bro, listen. It's better that way, bro. Take your time. Don't stress that shit. Whenever your time is right for you to lose your shit, cool. It's better to wait, bro. It's better to wait. Because you're going to fuck around, rush into something, and then get some type of responsibility and life-changing thing that you were not ready for. So, lock in, man.
Like, it's quite literally that simple.
So now the Society Says No crowd on TikTok is speaking out, and they aren't being quiet about it.
Why is this girl trying to argue me down about why 14 is too young to have kids? When I was 14, I was on my trampoline trying to figure out how to do a backflip without breaking my neck.
You think I'm gonna respect you and give you empathy because you got cracked when you were 15? I don't care who's the parent. You can be my closest friend and you're a parent? Get the f*** out of my face with that. You really want me to feel empathy and respect you because you cracked without a condom?
And while we have one side saying teen pregnancy is nothing to be proud about, while also noting that we should go back to shaming it.
I'm gonna get a lot of heat for this, but we need to bring back shaming teen pregnancy.
We need to bring back shame in general. We done fucking lost shame, bro. Nobody cares anymore. We're so desensitized. There's a war. There's wars going on right now. And we don't give a fuck. We just making memes and shit. Why am I seeing Jeffrey Epstein memes on my fucking Instagram feed and stuff? Like, bruh, we don't care about nothing anymore. It's bad. It's really bad. I'm not gonna lie. Hey, man.
We need to start doing what our parents did and start demonizing it.
There's the other side with a bit more sympathy.
We really need a shit. Is it TOS to say that we need to, like, I'm not even gonna say it, bro. But it starts with a B. And it's Uli. Be Uli. We need to bring a little bit of that back. Not in a bad way where people are, you know what I'm saying? But come on, man. Niggas need to have some shame for what some of the stupid shit that they doing, bro.
I've seen a lot of videos of teens and young women talking about how they got pregnant as a teen, and all the comments are always just hating on them, like, oh, you did this to yourself, this is not a flex, how do you think people are going to react to this? You don't want them to be a teen mom because it's hard, and you don't want them to be promoting teen motherhood because it's difficult, and that would be difficult for other people. So what is your solution to make it more difficult for them to live as a person?
The argument here is that the mistake already happened, so piling on the hate and shaming them into a corner isn't actually.
I mean, yeah, that's true, but that's not the point. We've gotten to a place where people can't even take criticism. Like, not everything is about hate or trying to like tear you down. Some things are really about taking the time to reflect and know what your actions are. Like, yo, you did this, now you're in this situation. Like, I hate a motherfucker that just want to reject and never reflect on what the hell is going on. It's like, bruh, Just because it happened and it's done and over with doesn't mean we can't talk about it. Doesn't mean we can't be like, yo, you made a bad decision. Yes, now we have to address it and act accordingly, but y'all motherfuckers be wanting to just goddamn catch a body and then be like, oh, it was an accident, it already happened, I don't want to talk about it. Like, whoa, what type of bratty ass mentality is that? Like, it gets to a point, man, we need to hold each other accountable, because that's where the growth happens. Reflection.
Teenage pregnancies, we want more kids that women can't take care of because that's her responsibility and nobody told her to go ahead and have that child. But here you are talking about the birth rates are down and we need them to have more children. With whom? Slowly but surely, some of these states are rolling back the age of consent. Some of them are rolling back the age that a child can get married. It is all by design.
Here's the thing. When we look at the decline in birth rates from grown women who are opting out, it starts to look like society is trying to fill that gap.
As more and more grown women decide to opt out of motherhood, you're going to see the same group of people that preach modesty among women tell you that teen pregnancy is a good thing and that we should encourage that to maintain the birth rate.
One thing I'm not too sure about is the preaching modesty to preaching teen pregnancy pipeline. I see where she's trying to get at, but vouching for modesty, vouching for teen pregnancy, I don't know how we got there. But in terms of society and the overall world, let's be honest. This world, this system, it needs a high birth rate to keep the world running. And from that news clip alone, as disturbing as it sounds, it seems like young girls may be in their view again, just like back in the day. Y'all, I swear, after researching and
W video, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this one. I gave y'all my thoughts, so I'm excited to hear y'all. Love y'all so much. My name's Berto, Where You At Berto. Join the Where You At family and never miss a live stream reaction. Link to that's in the description. I am glad.
Where you at, Berto?
I made this shit look too easy.